You're watching Personal Finance with Coach Kelvin. Let's get into the video. Hey guys, Coach Kelvin here. So with the new ASIC ruling talking about finfluencers and having to have a financial advisor's license, the future of this channel may be a little different to what I've been doing in the past. When it comes to my monthly passive income updates, I will likely still give them and talk about what income I've earned from what asset class, but I don't think I will disclose as to which investments paid me what amount anymore. And the reason for this is, if I were to say that I received a particular dividend from share X, or if I owned a property in a certain suburb or something like that, this could be deemed as something that may be suggestive as to someone else should also partake in that. Now, why this is quite important is, if I were to just talk about my normal, say, passive income updates, and somebody made an investment based on that just by watching my video, even though I say that it's not financial advice in the comments, if somebody were to make an investment and then they lost money, there would be a problem there, and ASIC doesn't want people without financial licenses to be giving this sort of advice. Now, why I think this is totally crazy is a lot of the financial advisors and a lot of firms out there, they charge exorbitant fees for you to actually invest through their platform or to actually be involved. And I'm just trying to provide some free information. I'm trying to make sure everyone has access to quality information. And I also want you guys to understand that it's not biased. I'm not saying you should use this platform over that platform. When I, for example, made my self-wealth video, that was just an example of how to purchase shares on that platform if you wish to do so. It's quite similar no matter which brokerage you use, but that was just sort of a how-to and a guide on how to use that particular platform. So I now feel like I need to tread very carefully with any of the content that I produce, because if I were to say use this platform, if I was to say purchase this asset, or if something possibly persuaded someone to make a decision without fully researching it themselves, they would then have grounds to possibly come after you or report you to ASIC. Now, ASIC is the Australian Securities Investment Commission, and this is basically in place to protect investors and people involved in the financial markets. So this was founded on the 1st of July in 1998, and ASIC basically regulates the entire financial industry where it comes to financial advisors, brokers, and basically anyone who can give investment advice, including financial planners. So anyone who is going to be protected by ASIC is the consumer, and also the people with the qualifications, provided they are behaving within the guidelines provided by ASIC. So myself, just being a individual investor who does not have any financial accreditation, all I'm doing is talking about my own research, my own experience, and my journey along the way to reaching FIRE. It's not really an okay place for me to say you should do this or you should do that. I've talked about my investment strategy a lot in the past, and that was to buy low-cost index funds to dollar cost average in monthly. I use my rental income from my properties to also help increase my share portfolio, and I make sure that I keep cash on hand to cover any expenses that may come up during that time, so including rental maintenance on the properties, including any emergencies in my own personal life, and then also to have cash aside for investment opportunities that may arise. Now, I also dollar cost average into crypto markets a little bit. Now, crypto is a more volatile asset. There's a lot more room for heartache, especially because it's so hard to really, quantify what the potential value or the utility of a crypto asset is. Now, obviously, over time, these assets can become more valuable or more adopted, but it's a much harder thing to probably predict, whereas the stock market has a lot of history and a lot of past lessons that you can learn from. The lifespan of crypto is much shorter, and therefore giving any advice on this can also be deemed as I guess risky and potentially causing heartache for people. So ASIC is going to crack down on that. Now, one of the other things that's going to be challenged by ASIC is any finfluencers, especially those with a really high following, to not engage in any affiliate promotions, any referral programs or anything where the finfluencer may actually sway their audience into using a particular product or investment class in order for them to get a kickback. So that would be like with my self-wealth video, I explained that if you were to sign up with this brokerage using my referral link, you would get 5 free trades and I would get 5 free trades. Now, obviously, that's wonderful for us both, but ASIC would not deem this as following their new guidelines, and therefore it would actually be wrong for somebody to recommend doing so. So as I go forward with my YouTube channel and I look to continually create content, I'm looking to possibly go down the path of interviewing people, as I did in my last video, because I quite liked that media format. People can talk about their own experiences, but I will totally limit what sort of information comes through. I will make sure that they're talking about their story, how they got into investing, possibly what their favorite asset class is, without saying what they should or what they recommend you should buy, etc. This channel was always intended to help some friends of mine. When I first got into it, I was getting asked a lot of questions at my job from people just looking to get started into investing. And instead of, stopping on the forklift every hour or so because someone wanted to come have a chat and ask, how do you get started in shares, I decided to actually make this so I could guide some of my peers in how to, research, get started, and come up with their own strategy that works for them when you have high conviction. So this channel was always intended to be just a really encouraging and friendly way for people to get started in the financial markets without having to feel like you're inferior because you don't know better or you don't have any prior knowledge. I feel like taking out the complexity from investing is really important, and making it seem simple will then encourage people to actually get started and focus on building a life for themselves outside of relying on government assistance, superannuation, etc. So as I guess the last year has progressed, a lot of changes have occurred in the content that was coming out from this channel, because initially it was very basic and starting out, and then as I got on top of a lot of topics, my requirement for making more content more often kind of got less, and I got asked less questions in person, so then I was obviously also not being prompted as much to make videos on a particular topic. But moving forward, I'll definitely cover certain useful tips for investing. I'll talk about the different acronyms, the different strategies that exist, how to do your own research, but I'm not going to at any point persuade somebody to take particular action in one direction, because that's where the grey areas start to shine through, and you can get into a lot of trouble for doing this. So there are fines of up to $1 million, there's prison time, etc. So there will not be any more of that. So basically, when I started with my investment journey, something that was really scary to me was I had no peers close by that I could learn from when it came to shares investing. So I got into property, as is everyone encouraged when they first start out and they're young, earning a lot of money. And the advice I got from everyone was, you can't go wrong with property, so just buy whatever. So I bought whatever and I went wrong with property, So it was really good once I actually began researching and going down that rabbit hole myself, figuring out how different financial markets work, how shares can actually provide income in a different way to property, which is all I knew. I figured out how to buy shares, and then I opened a brokerage account using ComSec at the time, but I didn't actually make my first purchase for 4 months. I just kept reading all the content I possibly could. I researched everything I could, and once I was finally, really high in conviction on the decision I wanted to make, and I felt like there was no amount of fear that would stop me following that's when I made my first purchase. I am totally the opposite of YOLO culture, because it totally terrifies me to throw money at something if I don't understand it. Like I won't even buy a meal off a menu that doesn't have all ingredients that I understand or know what they are. So I think it was really important that I really wrapped my head around it. And because I didn't have somebody to sort of fact check or learn from before I got started, I was really nervous and also really cautious, which I think in the long term has paid off. So it's going to be a different direction, I think, with how I approach content for this YouTube channel. I'll definitely try and keep interviewing people, talking about different investment strategies, possibly different asset classes without alluding to which one is more favorable, etc. So I might talk about the risks associated with each. So, you know, that keeps you, I guess, more aware of potential downsides to everything. But I appreciate all the support I've had so far. I can also delve into, you know, some of my own personal lessons and wins and losses along the way, so everyone can see, you know, not every investment story is perfect. And yeah, so guys, that's going to be my update on the ASIC ruling. I don't really know if this will be a permanent or a long-term thing. There are other Australian content creators who have completely cut their media output. So I know certain podcasts are now going to wind up and you know, limit how much they're putting out. I know a lot of finance creators and YouTubers are now trying to, you know, cancel their affiliation promotions with certain providers, etc. So if you have any questions, please comment below. If you got any value from this video, please like, share and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions as to what you'd like to see from me in the future, please comment below, because I do want to keep this up. I've been sitting on the fence for the last 2 weeks, unsure on what to post or how to go about it. But by no means do I want to stop. Like, I've really enjoyed this side project. I've been doing this for about 12 months now, and although I don't have many followers or many videos, I really hope you guys do get some value from the ones I have posted. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.